After yesterday's video, I had a bunch of you asking, like, hey Sully, do you have any other cohorts that you've been tracking sentiment data on that are even more different from OGs? The answer is yes. The bottom line represents the language that I've analyzed with all the OGs in my cohort, how much optimistic language they're using over time, and how that trends against the Bitcoin price. The gray line is the new one, and this is Bitcoin Plebs. So, first, a couple quick definitions. I'm defining OGs as somebody who's been in the Bitcoin space before 2015, has been consistent throughout that time period, and is actively posting, so we have good mood and language data to analyze. The Bitcoin plebs are anybody that's considered themselves to be a pleb or called themselves a pleb in their description. These are much more average Bitcoin users, smaller people on the network, just staying humble, stacking sats, and that kind of thing. And it turns out that we actually do see their mood deviate at interesting times. So we've went back a little bit here. We can't go crazy far back in the pleb data because some of them are newer, which is one of the reasons the data is interesting. So right now, we see, this is September 23rd, where we see this really big peak. The OGs are much more optimistic than the average pleb. Again, at the end of 2023, prices running up. The average OG is much more optimistic than the average pleb here. Pretty big deviance. We continue to see this over time with big flashes and peaks of optimism, specifically in run-ups into this bull market, which is so interesting. Also, when we redirect and we have crashed, this is the tariff scare last April and spring period. When we finally do start correcting, we see the OGs get really optimistic here as we end up breaking into new all-time highs. We also see this invert. So down here, when we are closer to all-time highs, you'll see the plebs have their biggest peak yet, where they are much more optimistic than they've been in their older data. I think this is super interesting, and the average OGs are a little bit more muted. And this is the exact kind of thing where I think some of this interesting signal lies. And as we get more recent here, you'll note why I think this is interesting. So right now, we've continually been trending down with the average optimism of the Bitcoin plebs out there. There's been a little bit less posting, even a little bit less activity than there is towards market peaks. But the OGs are still using as optimistic as language as ever. In almost every other domain in the world, when somebody's been in it longer, we give their opinion a little bit more regard. I don't think it should be crazy different in this world either. These OGs have seen the rises and falls in sentiment over time. They've seen the price, they've seen certain patterns before. I don't think they're going to accurately predict all the future, and I don't even think most of these people are doing price predictions at all. But just looking at the nuances of their mood is really interesting, and it kind of at least gives me a little bit more comfort, confidence, and insight into the fact that not everybody's panicking at an equal level right now, and those people that have actually been here longer are much more optimistic than the noobs.